One day there will be a Dalek called Petrol.
We meet again, my old friend. That's maybe too sinister to start the episode with. Welcome back to the Hachette Partworks DALEK Collection build, and we're here with, a lot of little pieces that are going to come together eventually. We've got the Daleks Halo, we've got the Daleks flat cap, and eventually I think these are going to come together in some way, but I ain't a builder, so let's find out together. We're back again with issue 16, so let's get started. And here we are, issue 16. Yeah. Issue 16, our little box of treats. Let's set that aside for now. I should just clarify, I have a really bad mouth ulcer on the side of my mouth, so if it sounds like I'm slurring my words at any point, it's not a medical condition. I mean, it is, but not a serious one. Will there be a cover art? I'm gonna close my eyes. Tell me, is there one? I have a feeling there's not. Why don't I? Sure, I know it's a lot of work for the artist, but it's one of my favorite parts about the magazine. The power of the Daleks. The transformed Doctor and his companions arrive on the colony world of Vulcan. A backstory about the power of the Daleks and the post-regeneration. That must have been mad, watching as a viewer back then, being like, wait, what just happened? It's an adjustment period in these days, but then it must have been like, wait, who's this man? And here we are into the building. Looks like it's gonna be a very screw-heavy episode today, so just brace yourself. Yeah. A little pizza, a yum yum yum. Oh, that's another example when you look at the picture and I thought it was gonna be the size of these guys, but it's tiny. You're nothing. Okay, so we got our cog ring. We'll have 3 locating wheel caps. What the hell are they? Is that these? Oh no, this is a bunch of stuff. Look, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. There's one still in here.
You can't hide from me, Chloe.
Ooh, now that's a cog. And then we'll have CP, BP, and AP screws. Yeah. Take the 3 hubs, 16D, and the 3 wheels. Fit the wheels onto the hubs. I believe these are the wheels? There we go, got our 3 little wheels. Tip, before continuing, take the circular plate assembly from issue 14 and check the position of the motor. Whoops. Take the circular plate assembly from issue 14 and place it upside down. Fit the 3 hubs into the 3 holes on the inner edge of the circular plate. One, another one here. If I can line it up with the hole. Yeah, there we go. There we go, all 3 are in. Turn the ring the other way up. Are they gonna fall out? No. So these little caps are then gonna go on top of the screws that we just put in. One. Why is that not going in? That's not going in at all. I think that screwdriver's too big. Let's try this one instead. A little bit better. Well, I should have asked last week really, but at time of recording, the Doctor Who finale is tonight. And I'm going to the cinema to watch it. Obviously, I haven't seen the finale yet, so I don't know what's going to happen for the most part, because I did read the leaks that were out there. I probably shouldn't have, and do I regret it? A little bit. What I've heard in the leaks worries me. In fact, at this point, by the time you're watching this, finale will have happened. So the leaks that I've heard are that Omega does come back, and he's a massive CGI creature with a giant claw. The other thing I heard was that Ncuti Gatwa is going to regenerate, potentially into Billy Piper. That's the rumor that's going around now. If I'm watching this in hindsight and that didn't happen, thank God, because I hate that idea. Hopefully I'm watching this back and laughing like, oh, how silly, how terrified I was for nothing. It was just a really good finale. I think we can set that aside now. Let's put it over here. And then we're getting this thing. Take the cog support assembly from issue 15 and fit the cog ring 16A to the center. Fit the ring in place with 6P flange screws. Take the circular plate assembly from step 3 and fit it on top of the cog ring assembly from step 4. There we go. It's going into the dome, everyone. Brace yourselves. Take the dome assembly and check that all the cables are taped to the inside of the dome. Gently lower the base assembly from step 6 into the dome. All right. So that needs to come up through here. Okay. Fix it in with 9 BP screws. Let's see how this goes. Okay, shockingly that actually went okay. And now I have the little battery test box, and I think we're gonna test if it moves. So like, let's hook this up and see what happens. Let's flip around and balance it there. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Brace yourself, everyone. Okay, it fell off the box, but it's working. Okay, I think the wheels had reached the recesses. Let's try that again. So we're gonna flip around. We have movement! It does say in the magazine, the tester will only move it in one direction, but when it's finished, it will move in both directions and all that. But there we go! We have a revolving Dalek head. Look at it go. Well, there you go. That's our completed work for issue 16. We have a motorized Dalek head! Let's have a quick look at what we got next week. I think more parts go into the movement mechanism, continuing the build with the round base, stand columns, and the 2 parts of the backrest. What's the backrest? Who knows? We'll find out next week. But we don't have any more loose parts. It's now all in the dome. Things are cooking. Things are cooking. Let's seal issue 16 into the ancient tome of Skaro. Boom. There we go. Issue 16 done and dusted. Join us next time for more Dalek bits going into our old friend Simon, the bronze boy of Belgium. Nah. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to follow along the journey of building this half-size Dalek replica, and if you want to build it for yourself, head along to the Hachette Partworks website, which you can find a link to in the description below. And hey, you look after yourself. Well, it seems like the people have certainly spoken. Last week I was asking if people would rather see a monthly video where I combine all 4 issues for that month into one video, or stick with the weekly. And it seems like pretty much everyone has been on board with keeping it weekly, which is nice to hear, I suppose. Let's take a moment now to look back at some of the comments from the previous video, shall we? Sergeant Major Mario says, I'm fine waiting once per week, makes it more exciting. Yeah, I suppose it does. The aim of the series was to give people the experience of building the magazine along with me, so yeah, I guess it makes sense to keep it week by week, because that's how you'd be getting the magazine. Dai Bowie says, try 2 every 2 weeks instead of all at once. Absolutely loving the edits, keep experimenting. Thank you very much. There were a couple different comments that suggested that, trying a video every 2 weeks as a kind of middle ground, but after this discussion and thinking about it, I am probably just leaning more towards keeping it as a weekly thing. Max Carnage 1984 says, mental note, find an appropriately sized top hat for Simon and tell Joe about it. Yes, please do that. I want to dress him up. Seasonally as well. I'm going to make him spooky for Halloween and then cover him in tinsel and shit for Christmas. Ginger Animator says, I prefer weekly, but really it's whatever is more convenient for yourself. Your editing and deft humor is delightful regardless. Thanks very much. Everyone's been really nice in the comments this week. I know it sounds very typical YouTuber to be like, that really means a lot, guys. It genuinely does mean a lot. Like it's been a bit of a shit week. So seeing all the comments on here was really nice. And I think last week we were talking about the Doctor Who finale as well. And Zero's Legion says, I was a big defender of this season of Doctor Who, but yeesh, I think that might be the worst season finale we have ever gotten. It's a shame because I really enjoyed the majority of the season. It just jumped off a cliff and literally into the depths of hell at the end. Anyway, weekly releases or monthly releases, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't think I was a huge fan of the finale. I don't think it was the worst finale we've ever had. I can see why some people might think that. But yeah, it definitely has left a little bit of a sour taste. And I really do hate to say it, because I do love Russell Davies as a writer. But yeah, there was a little bit of an air of they've kind of run out of ideas with the regeneration at the end. And again, maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe they'll do some specials or something down the line, and it will be really good. And I love Billie Piper as an actress. I think she could absolutely play the Doctor. But it's coming about at a particular time and a particular way that just feels like lazy. But who knows, maybe I'll eat my words. Cord says, I prefer the weekly videos myself, but if you want to give the monthly one a shot and see how it feels. As for the finale, my season 10 good fortune has come home to roost. Had Shooty's regeneration spoiled by the official BBC account, god damn it. It hadn't even been an hour and they were posting it everywhere. I expected from fans, but official accounts, can't you at least wait a day? That is bananas. And I saw that after. I was fortunate enough to see it in the cinema, so I didn't have to worry about like spoilers. But it is so frustrating that, they're trying to get fans engaged in the social media, clearly. They're reaching out to fans and they're doing all this different stuff, but they're sort of also punishing you if you don't watch it live at that very second. For a show that seemingly keeps trying to sell itself in the modern landscape of television with streaming, and that, event television isn't really necessarily a thing anymore, like people don't sit down at a particular time and everybody watches the show at the same time, you'd think they'd be better at handling that. I don't know if they're expecting everybody to just mute social media for several hours to several days after the show's aired until they can watch it. It's silly. And there's ways you can promote and discuss the episode as a social media account after the episode's aired without spoiling anything. For example, just put spoilers before you post anything. Chronic Katie says, I love the weekly because honestly you make my week. My boyfriend and I watch you together and it's always a good laugh and it's so interesting. Also, we're in Australia, so lovely Auntie Donna reference in this episode. Thanks, Katie. That's really nice. That's really nice to hear. Yeah, I was sort of assuming that everybody on the internet would know Auntie Donna, but if you don't, just go and watch Auntie Donna stuff. Although I must admit, it's such a weird and niche specific kind of humor that sometimes I show it to people and they look at me like I'm insane. But oh my god, it's like, it just keys into something. It like scratches the humor part of my brain in such a way that anything they do, I just like, I'm pissing myself laughing. So I can't recommend them enough. Anyway, folks, thanks very much for all the comments last week and for inputting your thoughts about the format of these videos going ahead, and just being really bloody nice. It's honestly, some of the comments I got were so nice. I wish I had time to put them all in. I hope you continue to join me for this journey as we build the half-size Dalek replica from Hachette Partworks. If you want to build it for yourself, head along to the Hachette Partworks website. You can subscribe to the magazine there. Otherwise, I'll be here every week, rain or shine, unless my laptop dies again, and we can build it together. Have a good week, folks, and I'll see you next time.